Hey guys, Mr. Mimikyu here, and in today's video I'm going to be showcasing Shadow Charizard in the Ultra League Premier Classic. Now Charizard is rank 1 overall in the Ultra Premier Classic on PvPoke. With the new wing attack buff updated to this season of Go Battle League, it can now reach Blast Burn much more faster and the second Dragon Claw much more faster, so it's pretty nice to see that happen though. My first opponent is Dan Ottawa. Be sure to check him out. I'll leave the link to his channel in the description. As you can see right here, he tried to catch an Ice Cold Spear onto his wall ring. I managed to hold on to my energy though. Now, to be fair though, he played me very well, even though I outpaced him to a lot of things, which is kind of surprising to see. As you can see in this video here, I throw in the second Earthquake after he threw in his first. He shields, which is kind of fine by me. I'm probably going to try and catch the Earthquake on the Charizard, and oh my gosh, that was just so good. He's going to build up energy here. I'm going to shield up the Ice Cold Spear. To be fair though, I feel kind of silly that I should have thrown the Dragon Claw here, but nope, that was kind of my fault though, so whoops on my end there. And here I'm going to bring back in the wall rain. I'm going to try and see if I can farm down. I know for a fact this is not an Earthquake, he just wants residual damage, and that's fine with me. He goes back into his wall rain. I'm going to throw in the Earthquake. Doesn't knock him out, and here I click Earthquake. I lose CMP because, as you can see right here, mine is the rank 1, and he's able to get off a last second Ice Cold Spear to do some chip damage, and all he has left is a Gyarados, and this game is pretty much over here. I can't do anything about it. I could have just top left, but good game, Dan Ottawa. It was very surprising to battle you, and I hope to see you battle again in the future. And of course, that's a good game to him, and stay tuned for some pretty more epic battles from him on his channel, which I'll leave in the link in the description below of the video. And of course, the next battle here is against For the Battles, which I'll leave a link to their channel in the description below. And of course, they're leaning with Swampert. I'm leaning with Swampert. Now, the problem with the Swampert mirror is that you don't know if yours is going to win CMP against theirs, because you know, it's very IV dependent. Mine is a 2-15-15, which is a rank 3 for the Ultra League. Mine was able to win CMP, which is kind of surprising to see though, which I honestly usually don't expect that though. And here we're basically down pretty low to see that we get simultaneously KO. Now, kind of a bit of a pickle here. I go in the wall rain, they go in the Charizard. Now, this is quite scary to see. They try to catch the Ice Cold Spear on the Sylveon. Not going to let that happen. I'm just going to throw in an Earthquake here, and I'm going to throw in an Ice Cold Spear. They're running Quick Attack, which I do respect that though, because Charm got nerfed in this season, which I understand. You know, Charmers aren't that common though. They go for a Psy Shock. They're unable to farm me down and get off another, so I'm able to wing attack down. All they have left is their Charizard. I'm probably just going to let this get shielded. They throw in a second Dragon Claw, and my goodness, Charizard is quite spammier now with the new wing attack buff. I was able to win CMP, which is oh my goodness. I'm able to get the last shield, and now this is kind of scary though. If I survive a Blast Burn here after throwing the Ice Cold Spear, that will be pretty nice though. We throw in the Ice Cold Spear, doesn't kill him. I throw in another Powder Snow, and of course they go for a Blast Burn. I'm able to hang on because rank 1 wall rain is a beast. Next opponent having a Shadow Snorlax. Now, the core breaker with this team is of course Snorlax here, because wall rain doesn't want to get faced off against superpowers, which would be doing massive damage to it. And here we're able to grab a CMP to the Body Slam, which is hello, that was pretty surprising. I'm going to throw in another Hydro Cannon here, see if we could bring it into the red, which we're able to. Now, I kind of get a little nervous here. I shouldn't have thrown another Hydro Cannon here, but I didn't, so that's good to know. They have a wall rain of their own. My opponent here probably going to shield this. Yep, I expected to see the shield, and I know for a fact that I'm able to get to an Earthquake, so at least I didn't have to throw in a Hydro Cannon, so that's good to know. We bring them down to the yellow here. I go into my own wall rain. They try to... I don't know what I was trying to do though. I was trying to catch the Earthquake with Charizard, but didn't work out here. get them low into the red. Now, you know what? I'm not going to shield anything. I'm going to preserve everything I can to the wall ring. Boom! Down goes Charizard with the Brave Bird. Oh my goodness. He brings back in the wall ring with a loaded Earthquake. I'm able to tank that though. The problem with like wall ring mirror, like I could have just thrown the Earthquake and be done with it though, because, you know, it's Earthquake, right? Even though, like, you know, with Icicle Spear requiring more energy, you know, wall ring would have been like pretty broken if it stayed that way though. I throw in a second Icicle Spear, grab a last shield, which is pretty nice, and oh my goodness, the pressure is just so intense, like, oh my goodness. And we're able to get to their Earthquake, so that means they're unable to Icicle Spear us, so that's a good game, well played to my opponent. Next opponent having a Charizard. Now, to be fair, there's been like so many Charizard leads. My opponent safe switches into Snorlax, and I kind of have to stay in here because, like I said here, Shadow Charizard doesn't want to deal with Body Slam, but I decide to go into it anyways. And here, I'm going to probably let the Body Slam go. My goodness, it does like over half, and I should have just like thrown the Blast Burn to begin with to just like cripple the Snorlax's health, and I'm able to do that though to see if we can take it out, and sure enough we did, so it's good enough to know. But what sucks is that we have a shield disadvantage, so that kind of blows on my part here, but I'm able to land a Blast Burn, which is nice though. So I'm gonna like try and wait out my clock here, because that's what the best strategy you could go for. They have, I believe, Swampert, is it? Is it Swampert? Oh my goodness, we're able to land the Earthquake. Wow, that did big damage. Oh my goodness. And we're able to grab a shield. And we're also able to catch a Hydro Cannon. Let's go. Like, man, I'm just like making some like pretty introvertedly crazy plays for myself. Oh man, it feels great. And of course, he shields up the Icicle Spear. And you know what? We're going to let this go. You know, call and it's a Hydro Cannon. And it is. He brings back in the Charizard. I'm going to shield up here to expect the Blast Burn. But nope, it's a Dragon Claw. I go for an Icicle Spear here so that we can secure the KO, and sure enough we did, and he goes into his own Swampert and I sniped him with mine. Next opponent having another Charizard. My goodness, Charizard is everywhere, I tell you, you know, with the new move update. They try to catch, and of course I managed to hold on to my energy. I'm going to like go for the Earthquake to do some meaningful damage here, and of course we're probably going to get a shield, which they do. 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfectly catch by me. Oh my goodness, that was an epic catch by me. And you know what? We're gonna try and see if we can like throw in the Earthquake here. And I'm gonna go for an extra here just to be safe here. And you know, they're going to go for... Oh my goodness, they caught it onto Charizard. So basically, they caught the Icicle Spear onto my wall ring. I don't know what it is, because... oh my goodness, like so many Pokemon like catching moves. It's very crazy to see. I'm going to let this go. It's a Blast Burn, which is fine. We can now go into Swampert. I'm probably going to go for a Hard Farm, but instead I'm going to go into my own. And I catch, I hope, what believed to be a Dragon Claw. But no, frozen another Blast Burn. You know what? Basically, we're at a 2-to-1 shield advantage, so this is pretty good for Charizard here. You know, we're kind of going to sweep in the end game, and, you know, it's all fine and dandy. His last Pokemon's a Snorlax. I'm going to, like, full send the Blast Burn, because, you know what? I'm going to, like, full send it. Oh, my God, it did so much damage, and wow. Just wow. I kind of wish that I didn't throw, but I didn't want to, like, risk him, like, going for Body Slam to, like, take me out here. And to be honest, this kind of screws me up a bit because, yeah, you could see right here with all those catches, I end up losing the game. Going to get hit by Icicle Spear, but that's okay. I had fun with this match, and that's a good game well played to my opponent. Next opponent having a Shadow Charizard. Like, jeez, Charizard's everywhere. Like, I get the love for it, but, jeez, like, it doesn't have to be seen so damn much. Like, wow, Charizard's just the epitome of, like, being so flexible with like dynamic with its energy. Like, sheesh, it's crazy to see that happen though. Like, my goodness, Charizard's just flying everywhere. Like, you can't even help but to love it though. I understand like a lot of people would consider Charizard overrated, but chill out, please. Like, oh my goodness, like, chill out, people. You can't just say that Charizard's overrated. Like, yeah, it is my favorite Pokemon of all time, but yet you can't help but to love it though. We're able to take his Charizard into the red, and Basically, the question is, who do I go into it? And I go into Walrein. They have a Venusaur. Now, this is very scary, though. Although we do sort of outpace them, though, which is good enough for me. And here, I'm going to, like, shield up the Frenzy Plant just to be safe and see if we can grab their second shield. And here, I catch the Frenzy Plant, you know, get a Sack Swap on the Swampert here. And they undercharge it, which is like, hello? Why did you undercharge the Frenzy Plant? You couldn't have done that? Like, what the heck? I'm going to go for an Icicle Spear here. And, of course, we'll grab the last shield here. And go for another Icicle Spear to secure the KO. Thankfully, they didn't catch. And, of course, we could just farm down. And that's a good game, well played. Next opponent having a... Oh, my God. How many of these are there? Like, holy crap. Like, jeez, there's so many Charizards. They're everywhere, I tell you. Heck, this is like, oh man, this is just, wow. This donkey-looking thing is just everywhere. Like, I can't even, like, stand up to it as much now. It's like, jeez, my favorite Pokemon being, like, so used, like, that it sucks so bad in the main series outside of its Megas. Like, wow. Oh man, here my opponent having a Gardevoir. Like, this is probably like game over at this point here because, like, you know, you have a Venusaur, you're kind of screwed at this point here. Throw in an Icicle Spear, and they just concede the match. Oh jeez, that was just a funky match, I tell ya. But here my opponent having a Scavalier, and I go into Charizard with the more flexibility to wing attack. I can now like build up to potentially what I can do. I'm gonna like throw in a Blast Burn, full send it. Oh man, he shields, and it was a CMP tie to the Drill Run. I'm gonna preserve some health here on Charizard. I'm gonna bait this time with a Dragon Claw to try and see if we can secure the shield, and they double shield it. Sheesh, my goodness. Like, man, a Scavalier, and he just gives up switch advantage. Like, hello? Like, why did you do that? Like, that seems pretty silly. I'm gonna let this move go in case it's a brutal swing, but he just surrendered anyways because he knew he wasn't gonna win. And of course, Ampharos. Now, at least we have it in the lead. It goes into Gyarados. I kind of have to go into Walrein though, because that's my only counter against Gyarados though, since like Charizard doesn't want to see it and Swampert has nothing for it unless if I have Sludge Wave, which I don't recommend because Sludge Wave is not a move you would want to run on Swampert in the Ultra League than it is in the Great and Master Leagues, because like with Great League, Fairy types are so common, like Azumarill and of course Altaria, so that's why you want to run Sludge Wave. Although with Earthquake, you can have more flexibility against Registeel, and that's all I can say really, because like with G-Fisk, you could just throw Hydro Cannon as well as Bastiodon, but here, and of course was able to take them down. They have Trevenant left. All it is this game is pretty much over. I'm going to shield here just in case it is the Shadow Ball, but it is a Seed Bomb, but that's okay. You know what? This game is pretty much game over here. I'm probably going to go for the back to back again, and snap again. Ain't nobody going to go around, and everybody knows I've been living a world on my own. Leave me alone. I've been joined to the point, and you cannot avoid this. Everybody knows this. Go this now. Peach, everybody knows this. This is how where's the Beats life. And that, my friends, is that Swampert is a Trevenant counter confirmed, and that's how you know I play it out like that. And all I have left is the Ampharos, and I'm kind of confused. You could have just thrown 2 Brutal Swings to probably take me into the red, but no, he full sends the Zap Cannon. Thankfully, can get the attack beat buff, but that's fine by me, and that's a good game, well played. Moving on to the next match, we got Surfetch. Now, Surfetch core breaks this team, sorta, because like it can hit Swampert super effective with Leaf Blade. It can hit Walrein with super effective counters. I'm going to throw in a Hydro Cannon here just so that we can preserve the health. I catch a Leaf Blade onto Charizard, which is perfectly fine by me. You know, it's going to do absolutely nothing. And of course, my opponent having a Crustle. Now, I'm very screwed. Why? Because Crustle likes smackdowning Charizard. It's like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, always going for those rock bottoms. Oh my goodness. I could have just thrown a Hydro Cannon so they wouldn't like throw in the X-Scissor, and as you can see right here, I build up some extra energy here. I go for a Hydro Cannon here, and that does some meaningful damage. My opponent goes back in Surfetch. I clicked on the Hydro Cannon and I died. Oh man, that was just That was horrible. I'm sorry, but that was horrible. I did not shield the Leaf Blade because I know for a fact I'm not going to win this, though. I could have just conceded, and that's a bad game. Oh my goodness, that was just terrible. Here is the first match of the I used with this team. I kind of messed up and played very finicky, though, because, like, I wasn't expecting the Aurora's lead, to be fair, though. And, of course, my opponent shielding up the Dragonite. I'm going to, like, shield up here in case it's a superpower. But knowing Dragonite, it wouldn't, like, full send the superpower since it doesn't want to, like, debuff itself right away. And this time I called a Dragon Claw like a champion. They bring back in the Aurora's. And here, I could have just, like, thrown in the, what is it, Icicle Spear? But we end up getting their last shield. And I got kind of nervous here. And we survived the Weather Ball close to 1 HP, and we accidentally threw in the Icicle Spear. Oh man, that was just... oh man, that was terrible. Here I'm going to let the Weather Ball go, and my goodness, Aurora's has a lot of energy. They have a Gyarados. This is pretty much scary, though. I could have just thrown a Blast Burn, and quite honestly, this is kind of messed up here in the membrane by me. I go for Blast Burn to try and see if we can secure it close to the red, which we're able to do, but this is kind of messed up here because, as you can see right here, it takes me out with Aqua Tail. I could have just, like, gone for, I don't know what, because, like, here, I should have, like, built up to the Earthquake, but I was scared, though, of, like, them going for a Weather Ball and taking me out, so that's why I got kind of nervous, though. Although it was a little screw up, though, but that's a good game to my opponent and gets the attack buff for no reason. Next opponent having an Empoleon. Now, we all know how to play out Empoleon. They go into Como-O. I go into Walrein here. I'm going to, like, shield this just in case, just so I can be safe, and thank goodness I did. It was a close combat. They full send it, otherwise then it would have done like big damage and I probably would have been close to the red, and thankfully I shielded. My opponent brings back an Empoleon. I'm gonna like go for an Earthquake to do some big damage, although we get a shield, which is like, hello. Here I'm going to let the Drill Peck go because there's no reason for me to shield it since Walrein is quite tanky, though. I'm going to throw in another Earthquake and they get the second shield, which is like, sheesh. How many times are you going to shield that thing there, Mr. Penguin of the North? And of course, we're going to bring back in Swampert. They have a Dragonite here. I'm going to like build up some energy, catch a Dragon Claw on the Charizard, and wow, we're able to survive it. Although, like, geez, those Dragon Breaths are so gosh darn impressive. Like, my goodness, that does a lot of damage here. I'm going to, like, shield up just in case, you know. I know it's silly, but whatever. I mean, oh my goodness. I feel silly that I didn't shield that, though, because, like, we're able to farm down, and we win CMP against Empoleon, which is like, wow, what more can you ask for? Oh my goodness, that was so good. My opponent here having a Nidoqueen. I'm like, what the heck? Why is everyone running Nidoqueen? Like, hello, Poison Fang got nerfed. There's no reason to run it. Like, out of all the times I've used this team, I haven't even encountered a single Steelix, which is like, what? Like, I understand that, like, not a lot of people have access to Hundo Steelix at level 40, aside from the fact that they would mainly power that Steelix up to level 50 for the Mega Evolution. And here my opponent having a Jellicent. Now, I decided to throw an Icicle Spear just before I die. And of course, this is kind of scary though because of a shield disadvantage I am at right now. They throw in a Bubble Beam here. I go for a Dragon Claw to see how much it does though, and we end up grabbing a shield, which is like, huh? Why did they shield up even though it's like -1? And now they go for another Bubble Beam, and I get another Hexfruit, which is like, son of a gun. I feel silly that I did that. I snipe with Swampert, get another Hexfruit, which is like, sheesh, now they have extra energy, which is like, oh my goodness. Like, I should know about proper move timing. I'm going to shield up just in case it's a Shadow Ball, so thank goodness I shielded. They try to catch on to Nidoqueen, but that's okay. I'm just going to throw in a Hydro Cannon here, do some meaningful damage though. Doesn't quite KO them, which is fine by me. You know what, I'm going to let the Poison Fang go, even though it's now 6. poison jabs to the Poison Fang, which I understand, although it does make a Crobat less used as a result though, but you could run cross poison, but I just don't see it though. Next opponent having a Charizard. Now, as I said before, like, you could have just, like, get out of here to begin with, because, like, Charizard just straight up lose Swampert in every shielding scenario. Like, hello? There's no reason for you to stay in. It just seems silly. And here my opponent tried to catch a Hydro Cannon onto Trevenant. I go into Wall Rain. Now, the safer play was to just go into Charizard, but whoops, I kind of regretted it. And here I'm going to shield up the Seed Bomb here as I go for Icicle Spear. It was CMP, of course, since, like, Trevenant does win CMP against Walrein. I'm going to throw in another Icicle Spear to bring it close to the red, which we're able to, and we're able to farm down. My opponent having a Swampert. Now, to be fair, though, at least with, like, you know, with Walrein, though, like, it's not as spammy as it once was. Like, you know, like, before it was 5-4, 5-4, but now it's always 5, which I have to respect though, since, like, wow, the damage output would be just too OP, and, you know, it had to be balanced out, just like Nidoqueen, which that Poison Fang nerf was just completely oblivious, and it just really hurts to see, you know. Like, you can't even imagine what it was like for Nidoqueen, because, like, you know, it was so oppressive in the Great League as well as the Ultra League, and to be fair, it's just fallen in grace, and I just don't see it happening anymore, because, like, I just stopped using Nidoqueen after this season, and I expect they're probably going to unban it in Season 14's Great League Remix, although I do suspect Pidgeot to be banned and Noctowl not. My opponent catching an Earthquake onto their Gyarados, which just really wants me to rub salt in my eyes just because of what it did. And of course, I go into Wall Rain. I'm just going to go Icicle Spear, you know, do some neutral damage to it, bring it down into the red. We're able to farm down. They're unable to get off a crunch. My opponent having a Surf Edge here. I'm just going to throw an Icicle Spear, and doesn't do a get a shield, you know, all that fine jazz, you know. I'm just going to throw in another. They farm me down. I'm going to go into Charizard here because, you know, Wing Attack would be doing super effective damage. And, of course, we're applying fast move pressure because of that 20% boost with the attack. I'm going to shield up just in case it was a Brave Bird. They try to, like, catch or something. I don't know, because, like, I'm very confused, though, because, man, that Icicle Spear did a lot of damage, though, because, you know, Charizard's not known for its bulk. They called the Dragon Claw, which is, like, hello? How did they do that? Oh my goodness. And they even called a Hydro Cannon. Like, jeez, Louise. Like, my goodness there, friend. Like, how you calling everything pretty good? Like, not even I could do that. Like, oh man. And they shielded up the Hydro Cannon, which is fine by me. I'm going to shield up the Icicle Spear now to try and see if we can, like, secure the KO with Dragon Claw. Hopefully that they're not anywhere near a Brave Bird, and hope that we can survive the move. And if we do, that's a good game well played to my opponent. Man, I have no idea why I wanted to make a 30-minute video of just, like, showcasing Shadow Charizard, because, like, you know, it is my favorite Pokemon of all time, because, like, Charizard has a spot for me, though, because, you know, it's the best Pokemon ever designed, best fire type, and possibly the best Kanto starter. Like, yeah, it sucks competitively in the main series game because, you know, that 4x weakness to rock, and after setting up Stealth Rock, you just die to the 2 times you're in. Like, first you get to half, second time you're just dead. So that basically means you only have, like, 2 shots for Charizard because, like, you know, you're just that defensively terrible with the 4x weakness, and it just really hurts me to see that happen to Charizard, though. And of course, my opponent, like, running double fire. It's like, whoa, you're just basically disintegrating everything you see. At least they're not able to get off a Flame Charge or a Shadow Ball with Chandelure, so that's good to note. And basically, I'm gonna let the Blast Burn go, and they just concede the match. Next opponent having a Trevenant. Now, this is very, very problematic, though. I kind of have to go into Wall Rain, not Charizard, though, because Charizard would be, like, probably the worst part to go into. They have a Charizard of their own. I'll throw an Icicle Spear. I'm probably just going to let shield up this move, or maybe just let it go. And it is a Dragon Claw bait, which is like, dang it. Like, oh my goodness. Like, calling, like, Dragon Claw, sheesh. It just really annoys me. Like, you know, you gotta understand though. Like, yeah, it is how it is. And I let the blast burn go. My goodness, things are just not going off good for me. So that's kind of unfortunate. They double shield it, which is like, what? And I die before I even had the chance to get off another Icicle Spear. I kind of have to go into Swampert though, because it's my only way to like play it out here. Because like I don't want like Charizard having to deal with Charizard though, because I don't know what their last Pokemon is. Hopefully it's something that Charizard can handle though, which would be nice though. Bring back in the Trevenant, and it's a Gliscor. So thank goodness it wasn't like Aggron or something, or else then Aggron would have been like problematic for me. They let the Blast Burn go. I'm probably gonna let the Night Slash go because, or no wait, I shielded up just to be safe here. They throw in another Night Slash, you know. At least it's not boosted though, or else then we'd probably be in the red near dying to it. They bring back in the Trevenant. I'm just going to roast them to oblivion. So gain hard counter in the front, hard counter on the save switch, but able to win. Next opponent having a Swampert. Now, we all know how to play this out because like Swampert is just Swampert, you know. Very spammy, quite fluctuatingly good. They try to catch a Hydro Cannon. I kind of wish I actually did catch their Icicle Spear onto my Walrein, which is exactly what I'm going to try and do. Failed to do so. They're going to throw in an Earthquake here. I'm probably going to let this go here. You know, we're not nowhere near in the red here. I'm probably going to build up extra energy here. Go for an Earthquake here to do some big damage to the Walrein. You know, because it's the only move that we can hit them neutrally with. I'm going to shield up the Earthquake, which thankfully it was the Earthquake. And to be fair though, this is kind of problematic though. I don't want to like line up on the move because then I'm scared of like letting it become a CMP tie. My opponent brings back in the Swampert. I'm just going to throw in a Icicle Spear here. There's no reason to go Earthquake. We could just go Icicle Spear all the way, and you know, that's all I can do right here. My opponent built up a lot of energy. I'm going to say it's a Hydro Cannon. Nope, it's an Earthquake. So down goes Walrein. I go back into Swampert. I won CMP, so, or maybe they didn't throw. I don't know what's up with that. Maybe there was a little glitch or something. I threw in a Hydro Cannon, and please tell me it's CMP, and it is, and we're able to take them down. All they have left is Charizard, and my Charizard didn't get to do anything in that match, which is like, wow. My opponent having a Lapras. Now, Lapras is nowhere near different than Walrein. The only difference is that it has a move that can buff its defense with Skull Bash because, wow, that damage output is just crazily good. I'm going to let this move go. Probably going to be a Surf, but nope, full sense of Skull Bash. My goodness, we're down in the red, and wow, I thought it was going to be a Surf because, like, usually I expect Lapras to go Surf, though, but nope. You're going to see right here, they survive with 1 HP. You could barely see the hit point. Wow, just wow. I kind of have to go in the Walrein now. They have Charizard of their own. Like, my goodness, with the new wing attack buff, Charizard's just OP. I wouldn't necessarily say it's broken because, like, you know, like, Charizard's pretty good. Like, you know, like, it's good in raids since, you know, you can either Mega Evolve it into its X form or its Y form. Although I do like the Y form better than the X, though. But yet, the X form is pretty cool. Although I'm not like a big avid fan of its shiny. My opponent having a Dragonite. This is pretty much kind of a screwy for me because, well, I don't know if I will win this or not because this is kind of problematic though. I go for an Icicle Spear and they're unable to get off a superpower. So that's good to note though. We're able to take it down and they just concede the match. Moving on to the last and final match of the video here. My opponent having a Walrein. Now, we all know how to play this out here. Usually, like, they like to throw Icicle Spears because it's so spammy, even though you now only get to them in 5 always now since the nerf last season. I throw in Hydro Cannon. He calls it, which is like, hello, and then he basically builds up energy and basically throws in the Earthquake, which is like, shoot, I thought he was going to throw in an Icicle Spear, but nope. He ends up catching what he thought was an Earthquake, but I end up throwing Icicle Spear. Icicle Spear, baby! Oh my goodness. I'm going to throw in another Icicle Spear to do some big damage, possibly bring the Venusaur into the red, but nope, he shields it. I'm going to throw in another Icicle Spear, see if we can secure the KO. Nope, double shields, which is like, hello, which is kind of surprising to see though, but yet, you know, I'm going to let the Frenzy Plant go. There's no reason to shield. It would be kind of silly to do so because then they're going to win. So anyways, I'm going to bring back into the Charizard here. I'm going to shield up last second just in case it is a Sludge Bomb, which it is, so thank goodness on my half. And Here, my opponent have an 8 Gliscor. I sniped with Swampert. Thank goodness I had that energy stored. And I don't know what happened here. They did a little bit of damage, and I could have just like let the Icicle Spear go, which is exactly what I'm going to do. I could have just thrown in the Hydro Cannon, but he probably got scared that I was going to throw in the Earthquake, but it doesn't even matter. This game is well played. I hope you guys enjoyed this video of me using Shadow Charizard. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, Mr. Mimikyu is saying, peace out.